You know, once you think about it, between the Space Bucket sets and whatever TimMee might be doing with Galaxy Laser Team these days, there really aren't any simplistic plastic space toy play sets anymore. Maybe Lego, and I'm not talking about action figure sets. I'm talking simplistic plastic figure spaceman play sets. Hang Fat and TimMee are the last holdouts. God bless them, too. I need more females to paint, amongst other things. And one of the go-to female plastic space toy forms is the TimMee Toys Space Female, whom I've dubbed the delightful and capable Dr. Chandra Lakes. And that there is her ingenious plutonium energizer device, the sheer power of which, in the wrong hands, could destroy entire worlds. Hey, don't let yourself be fooled here. You can score a brand new Galaxy Laser Team set from Victory Vive for about $20 shipped. I just went for these three because I only needed a couple of females. Set me back about $5. Look at the difference in the plastic color. The ones that I'd had before, I believe, are more vintage, and you can see the difference in the color of the plastic between the two. It's not just a matter of light fading. That's more of an ivory color. So maybe we pick one of the black figures and the new white figure to paint, because I had not had a pink female. So those four go back into the box. These two end up getting painted. Here is my effort of painting one so far. She's a raven-haired, gold-skinned knockout with her plutonium energizer module that I tried to burnish rather than paint. And there's the painted robot that I did, Space Turtle. I wanted to see something else with him that I wasn't able to achieve, so I haven't given him a spraying yet. I'm very proud of the orange suited Buck Rogers type. There's one that I'm less proud of, but he can go into a work of art. And then 4 of the Chewbacca's. And yeah, I guess that sort of looks like Chewbacca. And the Buck Rogers dude sort of looks like Han Solo, which is what the story with Galaxy Laser Team is. Star Wars had been a hit, and everybody and their uncle wanted a toy line that could cash into what George Lucas and Kenner Toys were able to just score a gold mine with. And one of the most egregious examples of how TimMee cleverly and gently encroached upon that intellectual property is the mailbox robot. And I can give a little bit of instruction. If you want to find a vintage pressing of the Galaxy Laser Team, pay attention to the pictures of the robots, because TimMee made some changes to it very soon after they started making them. The first sets that TimMee pressed, he has a solid body. The later ones, his body has a recess because it probably saved, twice the plastic. The other thing to look for is the width of the feet. As you notice, the blue figure has much wider feet than the white ones. So when they hollowed out its body, they also broadened the feet to make it more stable. The blue upscale version I have of it is actually quite rare, from Argentina, where it was a Pepsi-Cola promotional thing. As far as I can tell, in North America, the upsized robots were only pressed in white, green, and possibly the gray of that spaceman there in the background, and they will all have solid bodies. I've only had one of him to look at until now, and we got a pink one of him in. I'm pretty sure I'm going to paint the pink guy, because I painted their astronaut figures from the group, and they're actually kind of happening there with that pink peeking out from underneath the paint. So I may try it again with this one here. And again, I'm pretty sure that the one here on the right would be a vintage pressing or casting of it. And I'm going to study them carefully under better lighting conditions to see if there are any minute changes to like the way the feet are positioned or the way that the cape is curled. The angle of the hand with the club would be something to look at. In the end, the only way to really guarantee you're getting a vintage Galaxy Laser Team set is to buy a sealed vintage packaging of them. I believe this is one here. The current day productions are very nice, and there's no reason not to just score one of those to simply have it. And sure enough, the large ones are still in production too. It's an all-American enterprise as well. None of this is made in China. Now, of course, everyone's favorite are these larger, I want to say these are 4-inch, 4 1/4, something like that. They're not as tall as the MPC and Mark's Apollo astronauts. I'm almost dead certain the green one is a vintage. He has the dust of ages on him. I'm fairly certain the gray one is a vintage. And vintage meaning 1978. I mean, that's vintage. That's more than 30 years ago. I want to stress this again, that Galaxy Laser Team didn't exist before 1978. It took Star Wars for these to come out. These are not 1960s toys, although their use of a Gemini spacesuit for this figure and their Geiger counter guy is very intriguing. More on that in another exciting upload. Isn't this exciting? And I know that my Chewbacca...
Ash, can you see this?
4-inch upsize is a vintage as well, because of whom I obtained it from. I forgot to include this too. You know how this guy, got him positioned so that he ends up sort of facing right at you, like you're looking down the barrel of this thing? Or it always has reminded me of Rappaport's Buck Rogers figure here.
Ash, can you see this?
Which is essentially a side-on two-dimensional form. But when you turn them, it's a remarkably similar form. I'm just saying, I'm an artist, and we look for relationships between forms, one suggesting the other, or one method suggesting another. And just as an aside, I've got a whole bag full of TimMee Air Force guys, and I picked these two out to start with because they both had a little bit of damage. Look at the face on the dude with the bomb. Somebody actually cut his face out. He's like, ah! And this guy's walking up behind him with his smash. They look like they're from the thing. It's Windows and Palm are out having a couple of beers. Yeah, TimMee's important. Galaxy Laser Team's important. I may not talk about it as much as Marks and stuff. One reason is it's very difficult to discern vintage from contemporary. One's as good as the other, which is the same as the Hing Fat Space Bucket sets. They've been made the same way now for however many years. How old are the Hing Fat sets? That's another thing I want to finally get to the bottom of. When were those first introduced? Because I know I had one in or around 1972 or before. Hing Fat wasn't founded until 1980. So whose set did I have? Huh? All sorts of fun stuff to figure out.
Miles and miles and miles.